Okay, what's going on, LBHT crew? B, what's going on?
What's going on, man?
Not too much, man. It's another Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's hump day. I hope you guys' week is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We got we did a little weekend show. Some of you guys were a little confused. We put out a video yesterday talking about the Rachel Nichols thing. Maybe we get into that a little bit more today. That show was actually from a weekend show for patrons.
Yes.
So if you guys were wondering, hey, did we miss a show? Well, you kind of did.
Yes, you did.
So if you want to be a part of that weekend show, right above me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. It's something new we're going to be doing, Saturday or Sunday, one of those days. It's kind of kind of a pop-up show, but we're going to be doing those shows. And we'll be clipping some of those videos so you guys get a little taste of what's going on. And of course, we'll still be doing the Wednesday show and the overtime show directly afterwards. And we got some people in the room already. Tough Puppy, what's going on? Oh, Tough Puppy is early. What are you doing here, Tough Puppy? What are you doing? Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films is in the house. Thank you for joining the live stream.
What's up, Coach?
Make sure you subscribe to him as well. Sip to Tally Films.
What up, Derek?
Derek is in the house. What's going on? Okay. Yeah, you guys are here. Okay. You guys are interested in some Sha'Carri Richardson? Well, the lack of in the Olympics, but they may not be in the Olympics at all. The Olympics may not be going on. We're gonna have to talk about it. Maybe some more Rachel Nichols if you guys want to discuss that. Oh, our guys from Off the Record podcast. That's Mikey. Oh, yo, what's going on? Thanks for coming through.
What's up, Mikey?
And for the Ravens faithful, we always got some Ravens news to discuss. Justin Houston is still out there. He's still lurking. Okay. Is he going to make his way to Baltimore or is he going to go elsewhere? Noah Driscoll's in the house. He said, am I the only one the stream isn't working for? I don't know. Is it not?
I hope so. No offense.
You're in here. We're reading your comment. But all right, we're going to get the show started. But before we start the show, we like to start out with the Black History Fact. And B has a Black History Fact for you.
Tough Puppy also saying the stream is a little messed up for him as well. That's not great.
Okay, if you guys are having an issue with the stream, let us know. I don't see anything on our end, but
Derek saying he had to close out and restart it. Okay, so I guess if you're having issues, shut it down, hop back in. Hopefully that takes care of it. What's up, Suge? Thanks for coming through.
Huh? Yeah, I don't know. Let me pull it up. Let's pull it up. Suge says, is YouTube down? He said, Mikey says it's a little distorted. Well, we haven't. Is StreamYard doing it to us?
I don't think so. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
Okay. Tony Hendo says we're back. Slight issue. Maddie Gunner's in the house. What's going on, Maddie? We're going to give you guys a few minutes. Tough Puppy says he's good now.
The stream's working fine on my end.
Okay. All right. Yeah, guys. I don't know. Maybe it's a YouTube thing. So just close out and then come back in and hopefully it should work. Yeah, I'm pulling it up here. It looks fine. Yeah. Tony Hendo says slight issue. Tough Puppy says I'm good now, but the quality goes to a toaster every now and again. That's got to. I don't know. I do not know.
Said he's getting an error. What's up, Maddie? But I guess we can just go ahead and like I said, if you're having issues, shut it down, bring it back up. Hopefully that takes care of it. But let's go ahead and get things started.
Yep.
Like I said, we're going to start talking with Sha'Carri Richardson, who, as most of you know, is going to be missing the Olympics because of a failed marijuana test. Excuse me. So I wanted to give this is not just a Black History fact. This is more of a all people of color fact, but relating to marijuana and why it's illegal. It had been legal and people used cannabis. It was an ingredient in a lot of medicines for a long time. And after the Mexican Revolution, when there were a lot of Mexican immigrants coming into the U.S., A lot of people didn't like that, and they started to kind of overblow the effects of marijuana, and not even overblow, just straight make up effects. For example, police officers in Texas claimed that marijuana incited violent crimes. It aroused a lust for blood and gave its users superhuman strength. And that they spread rumors that Mexicans were distributing killer weed to unsuspecting American school children. Right? We have this guy Harry Anslinger, who was the commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics in the 30s. He says there are 100,000 total marijuana smokers in the U.S., and most are Negroes, Hispanics, Filipinos, and entertainers. Their satanic music, jazz, and swing result from marijuana use. This marijuana causes white women to seek sexual relations with Negroes, entertainers, and any others. Right. And so, it just kind of on and on, basically demonizing marijuana and connecting it to minorities. And, there was also talk that made Black people forget their place and made them think that they were as good as white people. And so, a lot of just fear mongering. And that led to a lot of states outlawing marijuana. 29 states outlawed marijuana between 1916 and 1931, and then the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 kind of acted as a almost blanket prohibition for marijuana, and that happened despite objections from the American Medical Association saying that it was good for treating certain illnesses. And this is something that kind of lingered in the U.S. And the government used drugs and tying drugs to minorities as a way to really lead to incarceration. This kind of they would really go overboard with the punishment. They would target minorities, despite the fact that white people and non-white people used marijuana and other drugs at the same rate. It would be mostly Black people later on that were targeted by police, that were charged and convicted and imprisoned. This went all the way up through the 80s with Reagan and his war on drugs, where they would institute mandatory minimums that were different for crack and cocaine, because crack was more likely to be used by poor Black people. And so, it's just something that has kind of permeated the history of the U.S. And even though attitudes are changing on marijuana in the U.S., a lot of places are legalizing it, most places have decriminalized it. It's just something that kind of still lingers, and that's why it's still a banned substance by the Olympic Committee, SADA, things like that, and that's what led to the failed test for Sha'Carri Richardson, which is why she's going to miss the Olympics coming up. Hence why a lot of people have a big problem with the fact that she's being punished and not going to be able to run.
Yeah. So if you watched our show, the patrons watched our show, what was it, Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember what day it was. We had a little debate with our man Suge Knight 323 is he's in the house. He says he's canceling his Patreon because YouTube ain't letting you watch the stream. He's messing with us. But make sure you follow Suge Knight 323. He does a lot of things on TikTok and Twitch. But yeah, some of you guys are still having issues with your stream. Some of you aren't, which is weird. So all I can say is close out the app, close the browser down, restart your computer. I'm gonna tell you all the IT stuff. I'm an IT guy. I'm gonna tell you everything I would tell you in IT. Just restart your computer, check your internet, make sure you got connection. If you're watching on your phone, restart your phone. I'm not sure what the issue is. I would usually blame StreamYard. Yes, Davon said blame StreamYard. Look.
No, I said y'all can have your coin back too.
Okay, let's send it back then. Send it back.
All that's gonna happen is we're gonna sell it again, though.
They will say Control Alt Delete. That's right. Yeah. They, you know the drill. All right. So, we brought this up over the weekend about Sha'Carri Richardson missing the 100 and the 200, but now the report is she's not going to the Olympics at all. The USA team decided to keep her off the roster for the 4x100 relay, right? Mm-hmm. And look, there's no reason for it, right? Like I thought initially that maybe it was another like rules thing, or she wasn't going to be eligible, because it turns out it wasn't necessarily the suspension that kept her from running the 100, right? It was that the other races that she ran, technically she didn't qualify because of those were DQs. So technically she couldn't run in those races. But no, that had nothing to do with the team race. It was just they don't want her on the team, and there's no way, there's no reason you could justify keeping her off the team. She's the fastest woman on the team.
Yeah, she was a medal favorite, not necessarily gold medal, but a lot of people had her as a favorite to win a medal in Tokyo. So there aren't 4 runners in the U.S. faster than Sha'Carri Richardson.
Nope.
I think it's just kind of them hammering that message home, really. A lot of people are upset that the U.S. kind of didn't stand up for her more, I guess, and push back on a suspension. But you see that that's not something that they're really interested in.
Yeah. Maddie, Maddie, you getting a little ahead of us, Maddie. We're going to talk about that. Maddie wants to know, is the Olympics even still going ahead with the Tokyo being in the state of emergency? Oh, you just hold on a second. We are going to discuss that next.
Yes.
But yeah, Mikey says they will get smoked now without her, pun intended. I don't even know who's the favorite. I mean, we said this on Sunday. I don't even know who else is on that team other than Alice and Felix, right?
Yeah, I forget the name of the favorite. The favorite's not American. I forget the woman's name. But again, Sha'Carri was expected to medal and obviously challenge for the gold. But just that the favorite's not from America. Allison Felix, I think, is more of a feel-good story at this point, that she qualified and is getting to go to the Olympics again.
Yeah.
But like Maddie alluded to, maybe karma coming for the Olympic Committee here.
Look, man, like, I mean, Mikey is right. Like, they are going to get smoked. Like, I mean, Jamaica usually, see, they're saying Jamaica, they usually have a fast team. It's usually U.S. and Jamaica that had like the fastest teams all around. So it's not so good.
Shelly Ann Frazier.
Okay.
Thank you, Paris.
She ain't gonna win though. And more to the point, who's gonna watch? Yeah. Right? Like, Sha'Carri Richardson was a star. Like, everybody was gonna tune in to watch her, and now she's not racing at all. I'm not watching.
Right.
Like, I mean, I stopped watching a lot of the Olympic events a few years ago. But most people don't watch it, but 1 or 2 events because somebody gets hyped up. But who are you hyped up to watch in this year's events?
Right. And it is it's a national pride thing. Everybody's going to represent their country and win medals for their country and everything. But you get people to watch these events with individual stories. That's why they do the human interest pieces on all these athletes, because they want you to be invested in the athletes. And that's you definitely don't have that going into this year's Olympics.
Yeah. All right, before we do this next one, I'm gonna take a quick break because everybody seems to be still having an issue. So I just want to test something out real quick. All right, so I'm going to hold on a second. We're gonna be right back. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna put the
You gonna bring the intro back up, man?
No, that's not long enough. I was gonna bring like a little overlay, something up.
You got Godson in the chat. What's up, Godson? Thanks for coming through.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's off of mute. Okay.
Okay.
All right. No, I just ran a couple of tests. Everything's good on our end. So it doesn't seem like it's a StreamYard issue. I don't see anything popping up from them. And it is good. It might be YouTube, guys. Can't do anything about it. Start tweeting at YouTube. Let them know.
More like lunch break breakdown. That's hurtful, Noah.
That's hurtful, man. That
Never
hurts.
thought it'd be you.
Right here.
Never thought it'd be you. But
all right.
We are back.
So yeah. They want to say it's definitely YouTube. Hey man, we're just gonna push through. We're just gonna push through. I'll go back and look at the stream later. If it's too choppy, maybe we get a extra show later this week. All right. So we mentioned Sha'Carri being out for the Olympics, and it might be that nobody gets to go to the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Oh, so Maddie Gunner just mentioned it in the chat that there's a state of emergency in Tokyo. So, the bears the question: is it still going to happen?
Right. Their number of cases per day are shot back up to where it was. I believe they said back in mid-May. They've got apparently people protesting in the streets to cancel the Olympics because they just don't have the disease under control. Knowing what we all know about the Olympics, which is that it's 100% about the money, I feel like they're going to go ahead and push through. They're saying that they're just not going to have any fans there, which is going to make for, I think, an awful viewing experience. Obviously the right thing to do would be to postpone again or just cancel altogether, but I don't think that's going to happen this time.
Yeah. Like you said, they already said that they're just not going to have any fans. I wonder how that's going to affect, I guess, like the travel plans and everything that people have already made. Right. Mm-hmm. People have booked, hotel rooms and, flights and all that stuff. I mean, this is literally at the last minute. So, yeah. And then also, how's that going to affect their preparation for games? Like, what kind of protocols are they going to have? They're going to have the COVID protocols that you see, you saw last year with NFL and NBA. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because we're 2 weeks out, and I don't know that you have time to really put any kind of protocols in place.
Yeah, but it's a state of emergency. I feel like you have to put it in. Now, this is going to be interesting. I would expect them to have some sort of protocol. They're not going to be like, just go out there and run. Yeah. Right. What happens when, not if, when an athlete breaks protocol? Right? Rules are rules. Rules are rules. What happens when an athlete breaks protocol? Are they going to be able to compete?
Right.
Do they go home? That's going to be interesting, because once they have protocols in place, them's the rules.
Yeah.
Right.
And the answer should be no. And, half the field's getting sent home. Right.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. Mikey says, yeah, it's going to happen. Who shows is the question. Who shows up? Yep. Too much money on the line. Yeah. Don't I know it? He said he's reading a postponement would equal $3 to $4 billion loss. Yeah. They ain't trying to lose that.
Right.
Yeah. Davon says they sacrifice so much for these moments. One of the athletes spoke out soliciting support. Are you talking about for Sha'Carri, or just showing up to the Olympics altogether? Yeah, man, them's the rules. Them's the rules. That's what it is. Yeah. Mrs. J the Six is in the house. What's going on? He says, yeah, YouTube is not playing with nobody today. I don't know. It's gotta be. Have other people had this issue today?
I mean, not that I've seen, but I don't be on YouTube like that.
I mean, I saw something earlier. I don't know. But we're gonna keep pushing, man. We're gonna keep pushing, and if, like I said, we'll go back and look at it. If the stream was kind of whack, then we'll be back. All right. We want to keep talking Olympics. We want to move on to something else.
I mean, I think we can move on to the NBA playoffs.
Let's do it.
So
all right.
Giannis made his not so triumphant return yesterday. He played in game 1 against Phoenix. I mean, he himself had a good game. Right? I mean, he was out there doing everything he could do. I mean, his numbers were a little little underwhelming for Giannis, but considering he's coming back off the hyperextended knee and hadn't played, in a little over a week, I mean, he was all over the court doing everything he could do to keep them in that game. Drew Holiday got to do better.
Yeah.
Drew had a terrible shooting night. Chris Middleton was having a terrible shooting night as well for most of the game. He got it together late. But really, Phoenix was just too good. They were too good yesterday.
Yeah, Giannis looked a lot better than I thought he would play. He didn't really look like there was any like ill effects, right? Yeah. But I'm still picking Phoenix to win it all, man. Giannis looked good because that's how great players look even when they're hurt, right? He's an exceptional player. It's going to be those close games where you have to give a little bit extra. Right, when your team's not doing much, like Chris Middleton, when they're not doing a whole lot, or they've given you all they have, and they need you to take over. Those moments when he needs to take over the game, that's why I feel like he's going to fall a little bit short because of the injury. Whereas Phoenix is healthier and they're talented, right? They're probably the more talented team, for being honest.
I don't think they're the more talented team.
I think they are.
I don't think so. I mean, Giannis is the best player in the series.
Yes.
I think Devin Booker slots into number 2, right? But I would take Middleton. I'll take Middleton next. And then you got Paul and Aiden, and then maybe Drew is after that. But I think that both of the supporting casts are they're all role players, right? But I think Milwaukee's role players are a little bit older, a little bit more experienced. I mean, they've got Jay Crowder over in Phoenix, but outside of him, they've got a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
So I would take Milwaukee's roster. I think, they were down 20 at one point in that game. So, it looked really bad, right?
Yeah.
But you got to think about Giannis being, his first game back. He wasn't 100% himself. He didn't play his normal minutes. Drew Holiday had a terrible game, right? And you look on the other side, Chris Paul went for 32. That's not a normal night for Chris Paul. He's not that kind of scorer. Phoenix hit 24 straight free throws. They set the record for most free throws without a miss. They were 24 for 24. And in the middle of the fourth quarter, it was down to 7 points.
Right.
So if you get a regular game from Giannis and more impact from Drew Holiday, Milwaukee, they've got a chance to take that game. And I don't expect, Phoenix isn't going to get that kind of a shooting performance from the free throw. They're not going to get those points from Chris Paul every game. Even DeAndre Ayton, I think he's capable of playing like that, but I don't think he does that, on a consistent basis every night.
Right. Yeah. So are you picking the Bucks?
I thought my pick was Bucks in 6. So, I mean, they've got to lose twice for that pick to be right.
Z to B says Bucks in 7. Okay. All right. Derek Weatherly says Ayton for Finals MVP. Book it. Ooh,
He's already down one game on that.
I'm gonna say CP3 Finals MVP. Off the record says Giannis has got demand the ball. Fourth quarter. Yeah, man. Look, he's got demand, but look, he's hurt, man. I think he's giving you all he has. Right.
Well, and also, I mean, that's their normal thing. Like, they go through Middleton because Middleton can shoot and Giannis can't. Now, I think, if Giannis was 100% healthy, he takes a few more shots in the fourth, but they run through Middleton because he can shoot it from anywhere on the court. Yeah. And, he's just got to be on this series. Like, they need him.
If they hadn't made to the finals, there'd be a lot of talk about Chris Middleton right now and his inconsistencies. He's been mad inconsistent this playoffs, the whole entire playoffs. He is very lucky that everybody got hurt. Everybody got hurt.
Listen, so is Phoenix, because Phoenix would not be here either.
Yeah, but I think Phoenix wasn't expected to be here. The Bucks put a lot into this year. Like they're trying to do as much as they can to get Giannis a ring. There's more invested on that side of the ball. Right. But
I don't think they were expected to get there either. Once Durant came back and they brought in Harden, everybody expected Brooklyn to go.
Yeah. No. Okay. Let me rephrase it. They're not expected, but there's more pressure for them to get there because they have a superstar they're trying to keep. Yeah. Whereas Phoenix, they didn't care one way or another. CP3, goes after this year, right? Like everything just came together for them.
Listen, I told you, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. That's what Milwaukee needs to be focused on right now, whether they win this series or not. Because, yeah, I mean, Middleton, he's a very good player. Drew Holiday's a very good player, but they don't show up every single night. And if you pair Giannis with a player like Lillard, you will be able to challenge Brooklyn. But having said that, Damian Lillard's posting Instagram pictures from the Lakers court. So obviously that means he's going to LA, right?
Well, how can he go there when you guys are trading for Kemba Walker? Oh, yeah. Kemba Walker. Hold on real quick. Davon says, Booker, worst case is the MVP if Suns win it. CP3 is my pick for MVP if Suns win. Yeah, that's my pick too. All right. Before we get into Kemba Walker, we are at the halfway point. Man, that first half was rough, guys. YouTube has let us down. And you know what? This is look, we're gonna let you guys in on a little secret here, because it's not that many people of y'all in right now, and who knows if this is even gonna go up later because YouTube be acting funny. Me and B we think years ahead for this show, right? We talk every single day about this show. We always talk about what the show can be, how it can grow. That's why we have all these new ideas. If you look at some of our earlier videos to now, night and day. It's night and day. And one of the things that we're looking to do years down the road, as long as we're getting the support, is, putting this show on our own platform. Maybe at some point in the future, when YouTube acts up like this, you can go to the LBHT Show app, right? Or go to our website, lbhtshow.com, right? And you can see the stream right on there when you have issues like this. So, we've thought about this stuff, man. And what we need you guys to do is keep supporting. And how can you support? I'm going to show you right now. There are 3 ways to support. The first one is right above me, patreon.com/LBHT show. We have 2 tiers, $3 tier and $10 tier. All right. Both tiers will get you access to our overtime show, which happens directly after this show. And we just started doing a weekend show. We don't have a set time for that. It'll be sometime on the weekend. You gotta be ready. And how will you know when it shows up? Well, we have a Discord as well. Okay. We sign up for Patreon. It gets you access to our Discord, and we post all kinds of stuff in the Discord. And it's lots of fun. Davon hangs out in there. Noah hangs out in there. Derek Weatherly, it's the whole LBHT crew in there. You'll see Ferris, right? So it's growing and growing, and lots of good content there. Also, we're going to be doing a fantasy football league and a pick'ems league for the upcoming football season, so you don't want to miss that. And for the $10 tier, for a limited time, you will get one of these nice shiny coins, and these are limited, but there'll be more coming through because Suge wants to send his back, and so does Noah. Okay, so we'll have some extra coins. We'll have 2 extra coins that we can give out. All right, I'll give you a close up of that coin right here. All right, it's nice. Okay, so we have a limited amount of those coins. Once they're gone, we'll have something else for the $10 tier. It just won't be that. The next way to support us is right above B. That's our Cash App, $LBHT Show. We don't do super chats. We use that as our super chat, as well as Venmo now. We have Venmo. So what you do, $LBHT Show, or go to Venmo, LBHT Show, drop a donation, leave a comment, and we will read it on air. And for that too, we're gonna have some graphics coming up in the future, so we can actually put your comment on the screen like a super chat. All right. And the third way, do you like what we're wearing? LBHT crew, do you like what you see? Do you want to get one of yours? You want to be a part of the crew? Well, first of all, you're already a part of the crew. If you want to let people know that you're a part of the crew, you go right here, lbhtshow.com/shop. All right. Get you some merch there. Check it out, man. Check it out. Take a look. We just updated it. And we keep updating it. Anytime we get anything new designs, new merchandise, we put it on the shop. So take a look around. If there's something that you like, make a purchase, and it helps us develop the show. All right.
And we really need your support right now, because apparently we got to help YouTube out.
Yeah. YouTube needs some help. Yeah. Let's see. what we got in the chat here? Everybody going in on Ferris. What did Ferris do? What did Ferris do?
Ferris don't ever be doing nothing. He was just like making fun of Ferris.
Hey, Mikey, you are a patron, my friend. So you do have access to the Discord. So all you have to do is go on Patreon. Actually, I need to update the link because those links are dated. I'll send you a new link. I'll put a new link on Patreon, and make sure that you guys have access to it. But yes, you have access to our Discord. All right. Anybody $3 tier or $10 tier has access to the Discord. So anybody that doesn't have it, I'll post a new link in Patreon so you can join. All right. Yes, Davon says hashtag Founders Coin. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Back to some Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
Come on, Pete. Come on. Let's go Lakers.
The talk out there is that LA and Oklahoma City are finalizing a trade that will send Kyle Kuzma and I believe the Lakers' first round pick to OKC for Kemba Walker. Okay.
Yeah.
I get, I like Kemba. Kemba's a good player still. I mean, I know he had some injury problems going into the playoffs. I mean, and throughout the year, but he's still a good player. He's an upgrade at point guard over Dennis Schroeder. But the problem is when you say we're going to lose Kuzma, we're going to lose the first round pick, and likely not going to re-sign Dennis Schroeder if Kemba's there, then that's a net loss. Or if you're saying we're going to re-sign Schroeder anyway, even though we bring in Kemba Walker, okay, I guess. I was hoping that they were aiming a little higher than that. It's really the thing.
So they get Kemba Walker. I don't think they'll be done with just Kemba Walker. I mean, in fact, I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that they're looking to bring in DeMar DeRozan as well. I heard that rumor today.
Well, I don't know how they're planning on bringing in DeMar DeRozan because they ain't got no money.
DeMar DeRozan might just say, give me the vet minimum. Look, we talked about this.
I cannot imagine him taking that little. I can't imagine him even taking an exception. Like, he'll get over $20 million a year on the open market.
Look, man, I can't imagine it either, but we're poor. We're poor. You're talking about somebody who has been so close to a finals in Toronto, right? Just to get shipped out the year that they go to the finals and win it all, right? The same year that LeBron leaves the conference, right? I know I would be thinking that, we've been good enough to get to the finals, and the only person that was in our way was LeBron, and LeBron went to the West, right?
Shannon Sharp said at this point he'd trade Kuzma for J. Cole. No, I don't think that. I think that's kind of the rumor mill working with DeMar's from LA.
But think about it though. Think about it. He's made millions of dollars. Yeah. I'm not saying obviously I would give the money.
He's about to make millions more.
I'm not saying I would, but sometimes players have that mentality. Like, man, I'll give up that money. I got enough money. I am not promoting this. I am not advocating for this. I advocate for players to get as much money as possible. Mm-hmm. But some players say they mean it. Money isn't everything, and like I said, he's been on some teams that have been close. They've been right there. He could taste it. And maybe he looks at it and says, this is another shot. Players do that all the time. We'll take less to go to a championship caliber team to win.
They don't do that when they're still going to be making top tier money though. Yeah. They do that after that portion of their career is over.
Yeah.
A la Blake Griffin. Blake was not going to be, getting any kind of huge deal on the open market, so he took a little bit of money to go to the Nets. DeMar DeRozan is still a guy who's going to be making $20+ million.
Yeah. Yeah. How much did Blake really lose? I mean, he got bought out. I mean, he lost a chunk in a buyout, I guess. But, and then whatever he got from the Nets, I don't think it was that big of a net loss, to be honest.
Well, no, it's not even that it was a net loss. I'm just saying, there wasn't more money out there for him.
Yeah. Well, usually when you get bought out, that's how it is.
Yeah. Mike is asking who has the highest salaries on the Lakers after LeBron and AD. That would be Kuzma and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Yeah.
They have, I believe it was 109 or 116 million tied up in those four. So in order to improve the team, they need to move Kuzma and KCP.
Yeah. So you can make room for three, max type players. They might be getting like max deals, but I mean, I'm thinking about Brooklyn, right? They got three max type players. I don't think they're making the max, but three max players.
Yeah, which is why I thought Kuzma plus KCP for Bradley Beal.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, if you're bringing in Kemba Walker, that puts a damper on things.
No, that he's a max player. He's making over 30. So
you talking about, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't, if you're going to go make a big splash, I'm agreeing with you, right? Yeah. Like you don't want to go for Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker's a good player, but you need, you want Lillard, right? You want somebody like that. You want to try to get Giannis or whoever, Bradley Beal, like you said, somebody that can really make a difference. Kemba, and he's making a lot of money too. So I don't think that's a great move. Like initially, I thought, oh, okay, they're getting Kemba Walker because he's a good player.
Yeah,
but what you're giving up, it kind of evens out.
Listen, I mean, it's not that big a deal because if LeBron and AD stay healthy, they're the best team in the league. Whether they're the best team in the league, whether they have Kemba or Schroeder, it doesn't really matter. But Ferris, to answer your question, a lot of teams would. I mean, DeMar DeRozan, he was averaging almost 22 and 7.
That's that killer Uber. Look, there's money to go around the NBA. This is not the NFL. Okay, average players make a ton of money. He could easily make 20 million. That's nothing. Because what are we talking about? 3 years, 4 years, 60, 80 million? That's chump change in the NBA.
Schroeder was making, I think, 17. Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
We had Mr. J saying Kemba better ask D Rose for his doctors to get his knee better. Not going to have a potential Brandon Royce situation with a max contract.
Ooh.
Well, Mr. J, apparently you are. Okay, because they said they're trying to finalize that deal.
So let's say they don't go after Kemba, they go after DeMar for 20 mil. Can they bring in another solid player?
Well, I don't know what kind of exceptions that they'll have available, if any, but they can't sign anybody in free agency. I mean, they straight up do not have any money to sign people in free agency. They'll have they can bring back Dennis Schroeder, they can bring back Harrell, and that's just about how much they are willing to pay in luxury tax.
Right.
They can bring back Caruso, but in terms of bringing new players in, it's going to be minimum contracts and trading Kuzma and KCP and draft picks. So they don't have a lot of avenues to improve the roster, but luckily for them, the roster doesn't need a ton of improvement. They desperately need to go get one or two more guys who can shoot.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah. All right, so whatever they do, Lakers, they'll be the best in the West, number 2 in the league.
The East.
No, they're not in the East. They're in the West. They'll be the best in the West. Look, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they come back next year. LeBron's going to be a year older. All right. AD's still going to be AD.
One of the top players in the league. Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. He's got to stay healthy. And we'll see. We'll see. All right. What do you want to get to next? Oh, Raven Ron is in the house.
What's up,
Raven Ron? What's up? I'll tell you what's up. A whole lot of YouTube lag. Okay. They're trying to sabotage this show. Okay. We're not having it. We're not having it. Okay. You came in at the right time because we still got some Ravens to discuss. Raven Ron's here for the Ravens content. Do you want to get to that? Do you want to get to some?
Well, I mean, we can get to that. I wanted to get to Ferris apparently just now figuring out that NBA players make a lot of money. That's very interesting to me.
I guess we can pull that topic. Do NBA players make a lot of money? Or do you want to say that for the bonus?
Dennis Schroeder made, my bad, $16 million last year. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was making a little over 12. Montrezl Harrell was making 9.2. That's the Lakers salaries there. NBA players are not cheap. I agree with Mikey here. He says the Lakers need to do whatever it takes to get Dame, Kuzma, KCP draft picks, and the Magic and Shaq statues, whatever it takes. That's right.
No.
We'll see, though. We'll see. It doesn't sound promising right now.
Yeah.
Another thing that doesn't really sound promising, I'm sorry, but Justin Houston to Baltimore.
Yes, Justin Houston. Oh, hold on. Let me read this comment from Mr. J. He says, I'm convinced that AD is the Bob Sanders. Oh, man. Bob Sanders won a Super Bowl, though. He won a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Like,
elite player, but
I gotta leave Anthony alone.
You know what's crazy about Bob Sanders? Bad. Bob Sanders was a physical player.
Yeah.
And he was always hurt. He was a physical player, but always hurt. All right. Ravens fans, let's talk about it. Justin Houston, is he going to come to save the Ravens pass rush, or is he going to take his talents elsewhere? So
the talk is that there's another team trying to jump in and sign Justin Houston while the Ravens are trying to get that done.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna be honest. These are the type of things that me and B try to avoid. We you could kind of label us a Ravens YouTube channel, but you notice we don't talk that much Ravens in the off season. We don't like these. We don't like these type of stories, right? Because in our eyes, it's a nothing move. It is. I don't think Justin Houston has very much to offer a team. In fact, I know that he doesn't, because hashtag defund the defense. That's right. I got the shirt up. I still haven't worn it on air yet. I gotta wear it. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that when we get close to the NFL season. Yeah. If he brought any real value, he would have been signed already. Yeah. And he's still out there. And even now, we're talking about, he's got options. Man, if we want him, we can just sign him, right? He's talking about deciding between our team or another team that's offering him the vet minimum. Yeah, he can take his time.
Yeah, Mike is asking at what price. He's saying the price had to come down. I don't think the price was high to begin with.
Yeah,
For a player like Justin Houston, he's just waiting around to see what situation, and also hoping to miss as much of the off-season program as possible.
Yeah. Davon says, I think we're rocking with the young boys, and we'll grab Houston much later if he is still hanging out there. Supplement injury. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, and I can see him just sitting there. I can see him sitting there and just waiting until until an injury happens and they need somebody to come in there and start. Ray Varon says Justin Houston could be better this year than the Phantom Sack. Oh, well, here we go.
I think he almost certainly will be, but that's not saying much.
Yes. Absolutely. Always not going to be playing that much, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to get that much rotation. Because, yes, they drafted him high. We love our defense. But Harbaugh does not like playing rookies. Mm-hmm. All right. Even good rookies, he doesn't really like playing, Zadarius Smith was a better player coming out of college than Oweh. And he showed it early on, but a couple mistakes here and there, and he got into it's a Harbaugh's doghouse, right? So he doesn't like young players because he doesn't trust them. He thinks they're going to make stupid mistakes. And Oweh, of course, is going to make stupid mistakes because he's a rookie and he's raw. You know, that's any rookie. You got to expect that.
Yeah.
But because he is raw, I just don't think he's going to be trusted a lot to go out there and play.
I don't even think. I mean, obviously he's worried about him making rookie mistakes. I think the bigger issue is him just going out there and getting bodied by offensive linemen, which I think is going to happen early and often.
Look, we're not fans of the pick, obviously. You guys know that. But I'm rooting for Oweh. And whether he's going to be a good player or not, those are the growing pains he's going to go through. That's going to happen. So I'm not even worried about this year.
Yeah, Noah says guarantee that other team is the Colts. I mean, that's a good thought. I'm leaning more towards the other team doesn't exist, honestly. I think the other team is more of a creation of his agent trying to get him a few extra dollars, if anything.
Team Justin. Always, he said, always going to shock us all with 14 and a half sacks. Man, I would be so happy.
For the career? Is that what you mean?
I would be so happy. I would be so happy with that. There it says edge rusher, Baltimore shocker. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, Derek. Nobody's drafted more wide receivers than Baltimore over the last 3 years. Okay.
All right. So let me ask you guys that are here, that are still hanging around after YouTube sabotaged us. Who do you think are going to be the starting edge rushers? What do you think that lineup and rotation is going to be? Right. We got who do we have? Man, we're not in good shape at edge rusher.
They are in perfect shape. They got Sack Daddy.
We got Sack Daddy.
Okay.
I'm not giving
Bowser.
Look, time out. I made a prediction. I'm gonna stand by it. Sack Daddy is you want to say always gonna shock us all? Sack Daddy is gonna shock us all. Okay. Jalen Ferguson is gonna have a breakout year. Watch.
Again, this is one of the what do you define as breakout for a bad player?
Well, one, he's not bad.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 8 sacks.
8 sacks as
Yes.
a breakout year.
Yes.
And you just try to tell me that dude is not bad.
Look, but in today's NFL, the sacks are going to go down even if you're a great edge rusher because they get rid of the ball a lot faster. Matt Judon, you and I agree, had a good year last year. Not great, but a good year, right? I walked away from last year saying that's a good player, good all-around player. He didn't have a lot of sacks, right? Who led the league in sacks? What did they? I'm not even sure who led the league in sacks last year because you're not going to see the 22 sacks anymore.
Well, Aaron Donald would like a word, but he had it very recently. But
not last year.
No, not last year. The leader didn't have 20 last year, but I believe
I put you on the
did
spot.
year
My
before. I believe they did the year before.
Yeah.
But no, I hear what you're saying. But 8 sacks as a breakout means that you're not a very good player.
That make you a very solid player. I didn't say he's gonna. Man, I didn't say he was gonna be the.
No. Averaging 8 sacks would make you a solid player.
Well,
this is my best season ever in a breakout year.
It's only his 3rd year. Okay. Next year I'm gonna project like 15 sacks. Okay. This year 8. If he got 8 sacks, I'd be happy with that.
You would be ecstatic with that. You know why? Because he's a
bad
bad player.
Because he lead the team.
Mr. J says, could the Panthers edge rushers go head to head with the Ravens edge rushers? The Panthers edge rushers are way better.
Wait, are we talking about head to head with their edge rushers or head to head with our tackles?
Right, because if you're talking about edge rushers to edge rushers, Panthers edge rushers are way better.
Light years better. That whole front four is better. But even with our tackles, because if you're asking about the tackles, I don't know. Villanueva starting at right tackle, I have questions. So, which one are you reading here? Okay, Raven Ron. Oh, okay. All right, you want to read Mike's
question? The question is, will we have anyone with double-digit sacks?
No. That was the easiest one. Tyus Bowser, McPhee, Derek Wolfe, Calais Campbell, bench, sack potato daddy. That hurts. Patrick Ricard. You think Patrick Ricard gonna be pulling some? He's gonna be pulling some Iron Man this year.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Swiss Army knife. Yes, I think you're gonna see Bowser and McPhee listed as starters, but there's gonna be a lot of rotation.
Yeah, I think McPhee will get the ceremonial nod there, but he's not going to play the most snaps.
Yeah,
he'll be spending a lot of time on the bench.
We are in we are at July 7th. When does training camp start? That's in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah,
couple weeks. So we'll start talking more football then. We'll start talking more football and giving you our thoughts of who we think are going to be starters and all that stuff. It's still early, but we're talking a little bit right now. Derek Weatherly says front 5 counting Jeremy Chin. Yeah, that's better than what the Ravens have.
Yeah,
that's better than what the Ravens have. Our strength, we have obviously a good defense, but our strength is in the secondary. I'll put our secondary up against anybody in the league.
Yeah, Ravens have the best secondary in the league, I think. But the front, Man, no, not really. Like especially when we're talking edge rushers. I mean, I think they're fine up the
Yeah.
middle. I think they're fine, at middle linebacker and whatnot. But when you get to the edges, I don't think they have it.
Yeah, and that's fine. They do enough as an overall defense to slow down the other team. It's the offense's job to take it from there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm fine with what the defense has. When we say hashtag defund the defense, we're not saying get rid of everybody on defense. We're saying our defense is good enough, and nobody can tell us differently on that.
Right.
Because if you look at it, like I don't care what defense you put together, I don't care. That's not going to keep the Chiefs from scoring. I know everybody wants to look at the Super Bowl and say, "Oh, look what happened to look what Tampa did to them in the Super Bowl," but their whole O-line, starting O-line, was out. You got to have
the backups.
Yeah, and some of the backups. I mean, you got to have your quarterback protected. I think that's the only reason they lost. And that loss came in the Super Bowl, their second appearance in a row. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry, man. There isn't a defense that you can put together that you can, with everybody healthy. With everybody healthy, there isn't a defense that you can put together that can stop the Chiefs. You can slow them down, but you still got to put up points. Oh, here we go. Living legend, what's going on? Rachel Nichols, man. We're gonna have to start coining some of his phrases.
Yeah. To answer the previous question, I'm going to go ahead and pick Dalen Hayes to lead Baltimore in sacks this year.
Dalen Hayes? Sheesh. Mm-hmm. Dalen Hayes doesn't get on the field.
He is. He's going to get on the field a lot.
He doesn't get on the field.
Who's
you think so?
Off the field?
I just told you, Sack Daddy. He's going to disrespect Sack Daddy like that?
Yes.
All right.
Very much so.
Dalen, see, you know what you did? You fell for the mini camp hype.
No.
You fell for it. They got you.
I watched his college games. I was like, yeah, he's probably the best edge rusher in Baltimore.
Yikes.
I like Tyus Bowser. I just don't think he's a guy who's going to rack up sacks for you.
I think Tyus Bowser is one of those players I look at and I say our coaching staff hasn't done a great job developing players, because he could be he's a solid player, but he should be a lot further along than he is.
Yeah,
I think there was a lot of hype around him coming out of college. A lot of people had a first round grade on him. We got him in the second round, and I think it was a combination of not getting the opportunities because this coaching staff doesn't like to play young players, and just lack of development. But he fought his way onto the field. I think he's going to be a solid player for us, but he should be an even better player. This whole coaching staff can go. I'm ready for them to go. Hey, we need a change here in Baltimore.
Raven Ron is not on your team.
Okay.
It's all about the disrespect for Sack Daddy.
All right. You guys are gonna be believers. So Raven Ron, you don't think Sack Daddy's getting any sacks? You don't think Always getting any sacks? Look, man, that leaves about 3 people.
That's right. No, because Baltimore blitzes on half of their defensive snaps.
Well, yeah. Calais Campbell's going to lead the team in sacks.
Because, by the way, you didn't ask me how many sacks Dalen Hayes was going to lead the team with. Okay?
It's good. Look, Calais Campbell, I think Calais Campbell will lead the team in sacks.
Nah, are they playing Jacksonville this year? I don't think so.
Well, they play the Raiders. He can get 4 right there.
We'll see.
I don't even know the Steelers. I'm not even sure what they have in their O-line now. They let everybody go.
Yeah,
play them twice.
Rebuilding.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So we have a few minutes left. You want to start the bonus time? We'll start some bonus time. Yeah. We kind of teased Rachel Nichols a little bit. We discussed that. We put out a video. If you guys want to discuss that a little bit more, there's been a little bit.
1 second. I'm sorry. Sorry to cut you off here, but I think this is important that we point this out. Off the record, Oweh going to shock us all 14.
I read that one.
Mere minutes later, Oweh 10 sacks this year. Mark it down. So by the time the season rolls around, Oweh will be down to 2.5 sacks, and it'll be encouraging.
He's negotiating with himself.
Yeah.
All right. Rachel Nichols. If you guys saw the video we put out yesterday and you're wondering, hey, I missed that stream. I don't remember that stream popping up. It popped up on our Patreon. Okay. We did a members only show. If you want to catch that show, right above me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. We're going to be doing an overtime show right after this. And, sometime this weekend, we'll do another members only show, and we'll clip something from that and put out so you guys can see it. But yeah, Rachel Nichols, man, she had some words for or about Maria Taylor. It got leaked out, and now she's off the NBA Finals, and she issued an apology. And you had her two black co-hosts having a defender, which was that was weird. And you had Steven Jackson, who thinks black people are lazy because of it. So, I mean, all right, you guys let us know your thoughts on this. What do you guys think about this whole thing? Look, there have been a lot of people that come out and say, look, Rachel Nichols hasn't really she hasn't said or done anything racist, around us. She's been cool and all that stuff. It looks like just a moment of frustration, which it could be, but it goes back to what we were saying before. A lot of racism, it hits you at a subconscious level because it's something that was ingrained in you from the time you were young. If you ask Rachel Nichols, does she hate black people? She will truthfully and wholeheartedly tell you, no. I got nothing against black people. I'm friends with them. I see them as my equal. But deep down inside, there's a little bit of her that feels like I'm above them.
Oh, and again, we talked about it earlier, and I said, I floated the possibility that, hey, maybe she doesn't really even believe that Maria Taylor doesn't deserve it, but she just knows for a fact that ESPN only gave her that job for diversity reasons, and she was just saying that. Okay, but it still came out, and this is going to be you're gonna have to deal with the fallout of it. Like, nothing's really happening to her. She's embarrassed. She got taken off of a couple shows, and that's it. She'll be fine. But the main point here is direct. You can be angry at Rachel Nichols, and deservedly so, but direct most of your anger at ESPN.
Yep.
Because every single non-white employee there that has spoken publicly about him says it's hell for non-white people.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I mean, there's a lot of people that have spoken out. Mike Hill, we read some quotes from Mike Hill. I was watching Dan Le Batard's show from yesterday, and he had Jamel Hill on there. He had Amina Hassan. They were talking. What's the opposite of glowingly about ESPN? They had a lot of bad things to say about that network. No one has said anything. No former employee has said anything nice about ESPN. So, and some of the things that they were saying yesterday were pretty damaging.
Yeah. So Mikey's asking, so is it true she was recording herself? If so, why?
No.
Apparently the story is that, they use, I don't know if it's Zoom or whatever it is they're using, but they have
Amin said the name of the app. I meant to write it down, and he said it's an app that they all use.
Yeah, that ESPN uses for their shows. And the people, like their producers and whatnot, who run the shows, have the ability to just, even if you turn off the recording, they have the ability to just turn it back on. So she didn't close the app out; it was still open. Whoever recorded it, because apparently it wasn't the employee who was actually suspended. She didn't record it; she sent it out to someone. Whoever recorded it heard what she was saying, hit the record button, and then started distributing the videos.
Yeah. I wonder what didn't get recorded. Yeah. because she had to say something for them to be like, let me just hit this record button. Right. Yeah, man, what if it was worse? What if it was worse? Yeah. So like we said, the person that got she got fired. She got disciplined and she ended up quitting. She didn't record it. It was actually sent to her according to Amina Hassan. It was sent to her and a bunch of other people. And when she got it, she sent it to Maria Taylor because her and Maria Taylor are friends. Mm-hmm. So that's how the whole thing blew up. And like you mentioned, it was reported by Deadspin or somebody last year, but it was kind of reported differently. It wasn't reported as, Rachel Nichols said this about Maria Taylor. It was reported as like
and to be fair, they didn't have the whole conversation at that point.
Yeah.
They tried to get the rest of the video. They couldn't get the rest of the video, and so they just they reported on what they had, which was somebody recorded Rachel Nichols having a phone conversation, and don't do that. And then so New York Times got the rest of the conversation recently.
Yeah, so Mikey, so she didn't forget to turn it off, and Amin was making a point about that too. It wasn't a hot mic situation. The app, you can hit stop, you can stop recording, but the producer of the show can hit record, right? Even though it's on your device, whatever app that they're using. What he was saying is, she stopped recording, right? She was good, and somebody decided, I'm going to hit record, and it turned back on without her knowing, and it started recording. So this is according to Amin. So it wasn't a hot mic situation. She didn't forget anything. She did what she needed to do on her end, and somebody else, because she didn't completely close out the app.
Yeah, but silver lining, she'll never forget to completely close out her apps again.
Right.
That's going to save her from privacy breaches in the future. So.
Yeah. Yes, Amin also went after Woj. That's correct. I forgot to mention that because when Woj was saying, or they quoted Woj saying that she was a bad teammate or whatever, and he was just like, "Yo, that's funny coming from him," and he talked about how Woj likes to put down a lot of the younger guys or guys that have relationship with players, because Woj doesn't have any relationships with players. He was saying he has relationships with the executives, and Woj bomb is huge, and he wants to be known as a guy that has all the connects, and he breaks all these stories, but he really gets to get the source from the players.
Listen,
so
Woj didn't say he was a good teammate. Okay? He was just speaking facts on Rachel.
He said real recognize real, right? But what Amin did say was that what Woj does a lot is, you'll notice when he tweets something out, like break something, it'll say per him and somebody else. That's just him stealing somebody's credit. Yeah. Somebody will break it and he'll tweet it out and take credit. What's up, King Bird? What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through. And this goes back to, and Mike, we've had these conversations with some of our friends about Woj. One of our friends called him talented. I said, there's nothing, like, he's not talent. He has resources. He's a guy with resources. There's nothing special about Woj. There's nothing special about a lot of these guys. What's going on? Keeping it real is I saw your first live stream the other day, man. It was dope. Make sure you subscribe to him. If you like our content, you're going to love his content as well, man. He's another Ravens fan. He covers everything on the NBA, man. He has great analysis. Very energetic, man. You're going to love his stuff. So subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. Subscribe. All right. But there are a lot of people in this industry that are good. They're good at their job. None of them are special.
Right. Well, I won't say none. There are a couple. I consider Dan Le Batard to be a special talent at what he does. He does things that other people in the industry can't really do. Most people in the industry can't do a show like Dan's show. I think
you can find people to do what Dan does. Dan is at the point where he's at now out of stubbornness, like a good stubbornness, right? A good stubbornness. George R.R. Martin said this once. I'll never forget this quote. He said, the sexiest thing you can say to somebody is no, right? Because when HBO was trying to get the rights to do Game of Thrones, he just kept saying no. Like, a bunch of people were asking him for the rights. Like, it's supposed to be movies. Other companies wanted to do TV shows. He just kept on saying no, and they kept on offering more money. And HBO came with a boatload of money. He's just like, yo, I got to a point where I didn't even care if they put aliens in the show. Like, it was so much money. The check was so big. And I think that's how it was with Dan Le Batard. I've heard him and John Skipper, the former CEO of ESPN, talk about how John Skipper wanted more diversity at ESPN. And he hired Jamel Hill, basically all the black talent that you see there. John Skipper hired, and he wanted some more Latino representation, and he knew Dan Lebatard, and Dan Lebatard worked at the Miami Herald, and Lebatard is a homebody. He never wanted to leave Miami. He wanted his show to be Miami centric. He wanted his people on the show, and if he didn't get everything he wanted, he wasn't going to do it. And John Skipper was like, okay, I'll give you everything you want. And he was just like, well, I like him at Miami Herald, so I'm just going to stay here. Mm-hmm. And John Skipper was just like, listen, I'm going to get you a studio in Miami. You don't have to come to Bristol, which is something I was never heard of. In fact, they fought against John Skipper, when he said he needs a studio in Miami. And he said it got to a point he was just like, I don't care what you do. It needs to happen now. That's how he ended up in the Clevelander Hotel in Miami. They're just like, make it happen now. And he made it, and they made it happen. So yes, he's special in that way where he's stubborn and he fights for his people and he wants to do things his way. And he understands sports is just supposed to be fun and you're not supposed to take it that seriously. And he's a good journalist for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I think that there's not a lot of people in that business that can do what Dan Lebatard does. But, Rachel Nichols found out that she's not one of those people. That's all. That's all that happened. Yeah. And Raven Ron said it in the chat there that she was wrong, and she was. Yeah. And that's why she got taken off the show. I mean, she got taken off the show initially because she's not special. But, that's why she's taken off the show now. Because you're wrong. And listen, a lot of people like Rachel Nichols. A lot of people say that she that's not the person she is. That she's all for diversity and helping people of color and everything. And if that's true, she gets to go home and reflect a little bit on herself and what happened, and she'll come back and she'll be fine.
Yeah.
If it's not true, she'll be on Fox. Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth. Yeah, there's no more to say than that. What's going on, Donovan Sales? Appreciate you coming through.
We do have another question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
This is a question from Derek earlier. McGregor fight. Who y'all got?
Oh, that is this weekend, huh?
It is indeed.
Okay. Yeah. Poirier's gonna win. I just don't think McGregor cares enough. I just don't think he cares enough. Schefter is laying low where it is. He's just like Woj. Oh, we all know what it is with Schefter. Like
Schefter has no talent.
No talent. No like Schefter. He's such a dirtbag. There's no player that talks to Adam Schefter. He's just like Woj. He's friends with some executives.
I won't say he's just like Woj. I don't get the impression that Woj is just a bad person. Adam Schefter is.
Well, you talk to Amin, he'll have something different to tell you.
He's a bad coworker. Adam Schefter is a bad person.
Yeah, and also Amin said that ESPN kind of cultivates that kind of environment where it's every man for themselves, right? Yeah. They pit a lot of people against each other. Mm-hmm. So when he heard that from Rachel Nichols, he's just like, that's kind of how it is, though.
Ian Rappaport too, yeah. Like they break those stories because of the positions that they're in. Also, to answer Derek's question for me, I am gonna go ahead and pick McGregor.
What?
I've been on that fence saying he doesn't care enough and it doesn't mean anything to him, but he got knocked out, he got embarrassed. I think that I do think that he is the more talented fighter, just period. So I think he'll put it together for at least one more night. He'll go out there and try to be his old self, and I think he'll get the win.
I think he'll be there for like 30 seconds, and then he'll be like, never mind.
I'm rich. That might be enough.
Never mind, I'm rich. I don't need this. Ever since he fought Khabib, and Khabib was bashing his head in and talking trash to him between rounds, and he said, look, man, it's just business. He said, look, it's just business. I was like, oh, yeah, he's done. You might as well just retire.
He ain't fighting Khabib on Saturday, though. Raven Ron says, who's worse, Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter? That is Schefter 7 days a week. I mean, I don't remember Ian Rappaport putting out somebody's medical information.
Yeah, that was pretty low.
And not even apologizing for it. That's the other thing. Because if he had just said, you know what, man, I got caught up in the game. I just took the picture and tweeted it. I didn't even think about it. I'm sorry. He didn't say that. He said, not my problem.
Yeah. And it's stuff like that, which is why when stories like Rachel Nichols comes up, I love covering it because, they usually don't like to cover themselves, right? When something happens, they don't like to address it. They just want to sweep it under the rug and don't want to talk about it. But there's a lot of drama that goes on at these networks. And, there's a lot of terrible people there too. And they do some dirtbag stuff. And they feel like it shouldn't be about them, right? Like, oh, well, we just covered athletes. You don't need to talk about us. No, like you're in the public eye too. We know who you are because you guys want to be famous. You guys want to be stars. You want to align yourself with these famous athletes, and sometimes you guys think you're bigger than them. So when something happens, the target's on you. So I'm fine with all the smoke that Rachel Nichols is getting, and Steven Jackson.
This too, Farrah said he broke the Andrew Luck retirement during a preseason game.
That's
while
right.
Andrew was in the stadium, so he got rained down with booze when he was going to have the press conference right after and announce it. Like, why couldn't you hold on to that?
That's right. Yep. Does Rachel Nichols come back, or is it over for her at ESPN? I think she's done ultimately at ESPN. She'll hang around for a little bit longer. They'll minimize her role, I think, and then she'll move on.
I don't think she's done. People, in this country love a redemption story.
Mm-hmm.
I think she'll be back.
I don't think she wants to be back. I don't think it's not going to be they move her out. I think she wants to move on.
You think she wants to leave?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll see. Because she left ESPN once already and then made the choice to come back. So I feel like she'll want to stay there. I think that they'll give her a nice cushy job that maybe she doesn't deserve, and she'll be fine.
I see your comment, King Bird, man. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Jimmy Butler thing. We're not going to talk about that, man. Like that's it is.
We have standards with our 11 viewers, man.
Thanks to YouTube sabotaging us. I'm gonna say that all throughout the stream, man.
Listen,
YouTube has sabotaged us
properly.
It isn't, man. All right, so
I opened it and it froze up a couple times. So I don't know.
All right, guys. Fine. So, all right, we're coming near the end of the show. We're going to do the overtime show. We'll see if we have any issues on the overtime show. You guys might be getting a bonus show this week. We'll see. No promises. We'll see. Just be on the lookout.
I want to jump in here and really stress no promises.
Yeah. Breaking news: Rachel Nichols gets hired by Fox News. Yeah. Look at that. Just said YouTube sabotaged his uncle too. I hear you, man. All right, we're gonna get out of here. For the overtime show, give us a couple minutes to set up. We'll post it in Patreon. If you guys want to join the conversation, right above me, patreon.com/LBHT Show. If you're not a member, it only takes $3. Ferris, that's why I'm a fan of Jimmy
Trainer.
He follows these sports media personalities. Okay, I'll have to check him out. Jimmy Trainer, he's educating us right now. But all right, y'all, that's it for tonight. No thanks to YouTube for sabotaging our show, and maybe we'll be back soon. See you next time.
No promises.